All right, well, welcome back to another exciting episode of Between Two Clouds. I've got the wonderful opportunity of sitting down with Sam McHugh with Ontinue. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Well, I certainly appreciate your time today. Is it true that you saw Bodie Miller on the slopes and actually tried to keep up with him?
Yes, that's true. I mean, first of all, I can't believe that Opex gave me that opportunity to join, but turns out we had raced in the same circles when we were only 15.
Oh,
So
wow.
had some of the same coaches over the years. So not in the same shape I was, but at least going downhill, I was able to keep up with them for a little bit.
Nice. Now, did you still beat him easily as you did when you were 15, or was he a little bit faster?
I never claimed anything close to that.
Okay.
He was definitely head and shoulders above me back then and now. So
Okay.
just was appreciating being on the same slopes as him.
Awesome. So it was an incredible experience to see him just attack the mountain. Is that right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever do any snowboarding or anything? Have you ever tried snowboarding?
No, having been a competitive skier, I don't think I was ever wanting to be uncomfortable in any way on the slopes. So I never even wanted to try a different approach.
I tried snowboarding New Year's Day, 1991. That was the first and the last time. Do you think the technology has changed any since then as far as snowboarding goes?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, skiing and snowboarding, I think the physics of the shape has just made it easier to carve turns. And
Yeah.
it is pretty incredible what they do. And even Bodie's creating his own skis these days.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, tell us about the current state of security. And before you do that, I mean, I'd like to take a stab at it with saying it's just a free for all out there. It seems everybody's getting hacked, and you just see it all over the news. What do you think is the current state of security?
I mean, definitely, you kind of talk about it in a good way that a lot of people just don't know what the right state is.
Yeah.
But I think what we're trying to do is to share the idea of true but best of platform, because so many people are going with this point product here, that there, and ultimately you have 20 different products to try to pull together your own platform. It just is too much complexity and too much chance for something to be misconfigured. So
Okay.
we truly believe in trying to have a focused ecosystem that is meant to work together, which is where we're coming from as a security vendor.
Okay, great. And why Opex? And what makes them a great advisor?
During the first COVID year, there wasn't, there was a big slowdown in sales. So I probably got to know hundreds of different advisors and partners, just because obviously that filled up the time to figure out like who was best to work with and who really got it. And I mean, Opex is in my mind number one, clearly. And Avant is a great complement to that. So the Avant Opex kind of twofer there, to have someone really invest in understanding and bringing like these new security paradigms to the clients, because clients are wondering what to do. And that trusted advisor role, I'm always looking for it. If I see a client who I'm put in front of by Microsoft and I don't see that they have, or I see they don't have an advisor, I actually look to bring in an Opex to try to, help them make sense of all this. And, most of these sometimes are really smart 1-2 person shops. Opex actually builds a way between project management, experts in-house, data science, to actually deliver that in a predictable manner. And a lot of people just kind of talk about it. So my time is spent largely just working with Opex for that reason.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm sure they paid you heavily to give them the plug there to say that they're number one. So that's awesome to hear. So I'm sure they'll be thrilled. Now, rumor has it that you are a great guitar player. I mean, I saw a little bit on LinkedIn as well. Who would you say is the greatest guitar player of all time?
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed re-approaching it as a hobby, and even started taking lessons again. So for the people who've been following me, it's been kind of a fun way for partners and even security professionals will start a meeting and say, I saw your video. So it's kind of good for the conversation, because again, like, it's always good to have something other than business to talk about with your partners. It's hard to pick the best, because what I love about guitar is there's so many different genres, right?
Yeah.
You have Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton and rock, but then you have, these other unknown guitarists or bluegrass people you've never even heard of, like
Yeah.
Billy Strings, and they pick a lane and then become virtuosos is what they do. And so I can kind of bounce around in different types, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely, Eric Clapton's kind of up there. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, it's hard to pick one. So.
What is your favorite song to play when you're at the house, relaxing, playing the guitar? What do you have a go-to song that you either always play, always warm up with, or either always finish with?
Yeah, I mean, probably the one I put the most time into is either going to be like Blackbird by the Beatles,
Okay.
or one of Dave Matthews songs, because those were always a good mixture of just like really beautiful songs that were rewarding to actually play,
Mm-hmm.
and then also good for dexterity and practice as well. So
That's awesome.
Probably what I would say.
Yeah. Now, has Bodie Miller ever seen you play the guitar?
Possibly. I mean, we're linked in on
nice.
together, and I did see him again last summer in Montana again, and my son did his little soccer camp. So
that's awesome.
Have been able to talk to him again. I'll have to bug him again and see if he can actually comment. Maybe he watches them all, but he doesn't want to say. Or
exactly. I'm sure, just, hey, give me a like, shout me out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? How hard is it to shout me out, right?
Yeah.
We're all human. Well, anyway, that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us here between two clouds. I'm Tommy T, and as always, keep your head in the clouds.